Attention please, your attention please. Your sector is under attack by the bad robot of government. It's February 21st, 2013. And hard as it may be to believe, the government for a while there did some things right. Did he say the government for a while there did things right? He certainly did, Perry. Now please butt out. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For a while, the government of the United States was thought rather highly of. This especially during the Golden Age, after the New Deal took effect.
The Golden Age. Right after the New Deal took effect. Continue.
Yes, Perry, well, I'll make fun of your disability sometime. Look at all these bad robots, symbolizing how the right wing in America, through a concentrated and concerted effort during the 1970s and afterwards, really managed to tilt the entire political playing field so heavily to the right that Perry Logan can do nothing more than weep about it.
I forget what I'm weeping about. I'm not a bad robot, I tell you. I'm a good robot.
Hello, we're in the grip of another allegory. And in this one, on February 21st, 2013, I wanted to remind people who may have forgotten, or people who may simply be too young to remember the really kind of astonishing truth that the U.S. government, I'm talking about the feds, the U.S. government was once the good robot. Once upon a time, there was a good robot. It was the robot of government.
Robot of government. Sounds like an allegory to me.
Once upon a time, there was a good robot. It was the robot of government. And back just a few decades ago, in the 1950s, the 1960s, and partway through the 1970s, the robot of government was good.
The robot of government was good.
Just butt out, Perry. And this good robot, after much prodding, did some good things. It broke up the monopoly. This is good. It supported education at all levels.
Oh, good.
Yes, Perry, what a good little robot this good robot of government was. And the good robot kept on doing wonderful things. For example, he created the NDEA grants, which helped get Perry Logan through graduate school. Far out. It launched the space program. It launched the National Weather Bureau. It protected unions from the rapacious corporations and sometimes even did battle against these monolithic behemoths, breaking up monopolies. It didn't always happen, but sometimes it did because, you see,
This was a good robot. Yes. Kids, this was a good robot.
this was a good robot, kids. It was the robot of government. In the U.S., talking about the U.S., the robot of government, if you like allegories. You know, he had a big smile. You could tell he was good, you know. He was shiny, clean. And he really did do things. For example, I'm just like plucking out examples here. There's an example up your nose. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Is that your nose?
Okay, I will stop plucking examples out of your nose. Well, listen, here's a factual thing. Lake Erie. Y'all know Lake Erie? One of the Great Lakes. One of the Great Lakes is Lake Erie. And hey, there was a period back there just a few decades ago when you could walk across Lake Erie.
Did he just say there was a time when you could walk across Lake Erie?
Yes, and that's hyperbole. It's hyperbole, but in all seriousness, Lake Erie and other of the Great Lakes, one of our national treasures, the Great Lakes, was polluted beyond all use. It was polluted just by, good old capitalism, right? And Lake Erie was unusable. I mean, you couldn't walk across it, but it was useless. You could almost visualize walking across the crud of Lake Erie, and the good robot fixed it. It was the, I know some of you think, Perry, this is too much. Perry, you've gone too far. And to these people I say, I say to you, the good robot of government, little allegory for this show, it did have a certain degree of reality in just a few decades back. Yeah, just to let you know how the story goes, it all started going bad in the 70s. I know you're thinking the 70s, some good songs, good music, bad clothes. And we all look like Martians, okay? We all look like Martians during the 70s. It was de rigueur. All right. Why, yes, the 1970s, we all looked like Martians and felt like Martians. And we had good music, but behind our backs, unbeknownst to us, the political right was getting its act together in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of pretty well documented ways. They created, for example, right-wing think tanks. Say that 10 times fast. Right-wing think tank, 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 right-wing think tank. Or 8 times fast, or whatever. A right-wing think tank, for those who don't know, is a joint. It's like a kind of a joint where they grind out articles that prove what they are paid to prove. That's what a right-wing think tank, such as the Heritage Foundation and the Cato Foundation, which is more a libertarian thing, but about the same idea. It just tries to make bad ideas look good. You got to think about it. Well, you see, this was one of the things that started in the 70s. But, I can make fun of them and tell you how bad they are, but they kind of rule the universe. I tell you what, if politics were a football game, the last 40 years have been spent over at the Democrats' goal line. That was an attempt at a sports metaphor. Forgive me. But it does seem to me that the last 40 years have been mostly a rout for the left. I say this I'm a registered lefty. I am a progressive. I am the quintessence and the very definition of lefty. Hey, just this side of Karl Marx. Hut, hut, hut! Yeah, you can make with the football metaphors and say that the Democrats have been playing blah, blah, blah. This is how you're going to try again. Hut, 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 hut. If politics, I say, were a football game, it would be all spent over at the Democrats' goalpost. I don't know, even if the Democrats had the ball over the last 40 years, it has been back in their own end zone. I hope I'm getting this right,
But it's actually worse than that. If you really want this metaphor, a football metaphor, to work, the last 40 years have involved more like the Republicans pushing the goalposts further and further to the right. Pay no attention to which direction I'm going here. Oh, ha ha ha. Well, it's very bad news. And concomitantly, and coincidentally, vagabond. You kids. Quiet! Concomitantly and correspondingly and correlatively. Yay! Our living standards have been going down. Really, almost straight down the whole time, the whole 40 years. So, when I say the right got it together in the 1970s, I really mean it. This is what I'm told. They had secret meetings and they said, we've got to create right-wing think tanks to issue things that look like scientific proof that we're right about things. And they made a concerted effort to kind of buy up the media and move the media. Also, just like that football game, move the media off to the right. I tell you what, I laugh, albeit somewhat bitterly, when people talk about the liberal media. It's like, no, hey, if the media were liberal, I, a liberal, would know, okay? End of argument. Okay, so, getting back to that robot thing, hey, remember that robot thing? Yes, my friends, the good robot did some good things for people after the New Deal. But then the evil right wing, to give credit where it's due, got their spit together, and do you know what they did? I know. The net result of all that conspiracizing and getting together and, plotting and using their ample monies, the political right really did manage to just start whooping the left. I confess it. And I don't know, I think the left, if you look at the last 40 years, what kind of fight? Sports metaphors, baby. What kind of fight did the left put up during that period? I tell you what, just really sad, just sad. Like I say, the goalposts, the whole conversation is right wing, the whole game. Oh, I'm complaining. I'm sorry to complain. But the truth is, the good robot of government has become the bad robot. What can I say? Signs your government may have turned into a bad robot. Super secrecy, nay, super duper secrecy. Alice in Wonderland, through the looking glass levels of secrecy. That's exactly the situation we find ourselves in. And the irony of this, one of the ironies of this is that we have a Democratic president and a vice president, a Democratic vice president who prattles about shotguns and which guns are used. So, given the nature of partisan politics, just the psychology, it's kind of hard for lefties and, just many folks, moderates, lefties, it's hard for them to believe that the Democrats are at the helm of this evil robot that is government. Or they just simply reject it, And so we do like to point out to these folks, there are telltale signs of bad government. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican or who knows what, or a Whig or a Tory. And it is kind of a surprise. It was just a stunner. Come on, man, a stunner. That our beloved brother Barack Obama has turned out to be, in ways, more secret than anyone. More secret than any president ever. This is so exciting, yeah? Well, disconcerting. Because you start to see the looming face of that evil robot and say, the Democrats have not changed that. They have not dismantled this machine that is, in my opinion, hurting us all, largely for the good of the corporations. I think the whole thing is that, if we're going to continue the metaphor, corporations have taken over this big robot of government, and of course now it's doing us no good. They want to do things like fracking, which I'm convinced will do us no good, will harm us all, you see. But this is the kind of thing an evil robot would do, okay? So it's a pretty good metaphor. Got him! Boom! Okay, signs that your government has turned into something resembling an evil robot would be when foreign policy is mostly dead people. Okay? To put it another way, a sign your government has become a bad robot, has become what might allegorically be called a bad robot. Bad robot! Is when its foreign policy consists mostly of dead people. Oh, art I a magician here? Yes, well, this would be something if you talk even to the most enthusiastic of Obama apologists. Don't forget, I love Obama. But if you talk about foreign policy, it's mostly dead people. It's mostly people, and don't forget that super duper secrecy thing. You see, even as I speak, the Obama administration is refusing to show Congress memos. Now, I don't mean secrets like rocket secrets or terrorist secrets, but memos about how the hell they think they can send their drones out. Speaking of evil robots, bad robots, how the hell they can send those drones out to kill people, which they're doing more than bush-cheney. See, they're doing an evil thing that bush-cheney started many times over. This is pure bad robot stuff. And I regret to say one has a problem with lefties, otherwise intelligent lefties, whom I also love. I don't know how I can love people so damn much. But I love you, and I do thank you for watching. But I had the privilege of a ringside seat for the last 40 years of the left getting their little butts whopped, mostly. I'm not saying there were no cool lefties, or there's no such thing as cool lefties, or, but just the overall picture was one just horrible football game where not only was the other side beating us, but they were moving to bloody goalposts. I'm sorry. I can't get over the specter of an allegedly Democratic president talking about how to use your shotgun. I'm picking on poor Joe Biden, who I also love, okay? This is not easy. But Joe Biden, whom I also love, is telling people what gun to use, you see? And that goes to show you, I regret to say, how terribly gelded the left are. Does it make you nervous when I say how terribly gelded the left are? Repeat after me. How terribly gelded the left are. How terribly gelded the left are. Ha ha! How terribly gelded are the left. telling people they should have shotguns or in any way implying you should have a gun in your house is so stupid, it is unworthy of the name democratic. Democratic. It shows you how far those goalposts have gone off to the right. Under all the Democrats. Among other things, this show contains a painful confession that I did have this wonderful ringside seat to seeing the left just get their little butts kicked. Starting about the 70s, in my hot-blooded youth. Yeah! Hey, watch this. I'll show you me in the 70s, okay? Hello, this is young Perry. This is Perry Logan, circa the 1970s. And I'm kind of swimming in ignorance, but Ronald Reagan will never be president. America would never put up with a president that far right-wing with so many bad ideas. Hi, this is young Perry, and I'm full of great advice. You see, I don't know, as nobody back here in the 70s know, just how rigged the game is going to be, and just what a wimpy fight the Democrats are going to put up. The Democrats will never talk about using shotguns to defend your home. Everybody knows having a gun in your house is as dumb as keeping a live tiger. Yes, young Perry. I agree with young Perry, at least on that last thing. Having a gun in your house is statistically very dangerous. Don't give me that self-defense bull crap. Don't give me that self-defense bull crap. Having a gun in your house makes it much more likely that a person in the house will be murdered with that gun. And when you start to talk about suicide, it's really, really grim. This is Ronald Reagan. I'm sorry for everything I did. I was wrong. And by the way, I really am in hell being flayed for the death squad thing. As a last request, could I see that foxy little cundit Ann Coulter do a sexy hoochie coo for me?
Oh, foxy little cundit, you right-wing traitor! I'll take it from here.
Stand aside, girls. Rush is gonna make it happen. Sorry. We love Perry Logan. We love Perry Logan.
He is our love master. And now the Perry Logan Mime Troupe, actually just Perry, perform I, Bad Robot. Once upon a time, there was a jolly, happy robot. He was a good robot. He was our allegorical figure for government back in the day after the New Deal, which, in some ways, and for just a little while, the government did good things, like help Perry Logan get through graduate school at UCLA. It's true. No, really. But then, along about the 1970s and on through the 21st century, the good robot was turned into a bad robot by the evil forces of right-wingers, which, to give credit where it's due, got its stuff together
in the 1970s.